This is Mario once again, and I have been playing with some designs here for Go-Kart. I previously showed this in another video with regards to making a vintage type Go-Kart using maker pipe connectors that you see here and EMT tubing. And so I was playing with various setups. As I said before, you know, when I do these things, I start with one idea and then my mind starts just going into all sorts of directions, and anything that comes up to my mind, I put it down, you know, because I don't let anything go. And so I typically generate you know, dozens of these setups here, and then I settle on one of them, you know, because as I do this, things get more refined, or some new ideas come up that may be better than the other ones, and that's how I arrive at these things. In addition, I also do jigs and fixtures and brackets and things like that that I may need to execute, you know, some of these plans here, and they're embedded in these drawings here. So while I was at doing this, and in consideration with my new project, which is taking one of those large hoverboards, and converting those to a full adult size go-kart like adapter, you know, for the hoverboard, I started once again playing with some of these parts here. I have lots of individual parts here, wheels, frames, you know, all kinds of types of tubing. I have perforated tubing, square tubing, round tubing, you know, all kinds of things. You know, just having all those components just makes it easier for me to just copy and paste and start working on a new design here. So this is what I was talking about in my last video, I believe. This would be video number 4, I think. The hoverboard that I'm using is a Hover 1 Rogue, and I believe I can get away with using the foot pedals, because that one is it's an interesting board. It's the type that folds into a V, you know, for carrying in storage. But as I said in my other video, you know, that idea of folding it's more cumbersome, you know, to assemble, and then it's got this automatic. As soon as you open it up and you lock it into a horizontal form, it has a switch built into the hinge, which you know, as soon as that closes, boom, it triggers on the system. And what I said in my other videos, that they should have put a button on the outside, so you could still, you know, hinge it, lock it with those bars that that one comes with in particular, and by having the external switch outside, or at least, you know, outside the unit and not embedded into the hinge, you could trigger that once the unit is unfolded or folded, you know, into a horizontal unit. So what I did was I took out the wheels, and I took out the and I retained the foot pedals. What is interesting about that particular one is that the where you put your feet, you know, typically hoverboards, they have a joint at the center and they pivot. The left side pivots from the right side. And that is just to establish a right to left turn, you know, on the sensors that are part of the foot controls. On this one, what they did is, on this Rogue Hover 1, is they introduced that pivoting not on the box or the frame that supports the electronics, but on the footrests themselves. So the footrests, they have this. The footrests are kind of like this. So the footrests have these brackets. If I can make this better. There we go. Couple little buttons here for forward and backward. So these buttons here on each footrest, left and right. Let me just extend this out here. So these brackets that they employ here, it pivots at this point right here. Okay, so it pivots at this point right here. So instead of pivoting the whole hoverboard assembly or enclosure at the center, as typically hoverboards do, this assembly here, which is embedded in the footrest, actually pivots here back and forth, and on top you have these two rubber triggers here that trigger the forward and left. So forward and backward control. So forward you press here, backward you press here, and if you want to turn, you have to step on it a little bit harder. You know, put pressure on this whole bracket assembly that's part of the footrest, you know, to execute a left and right turn. So I mentioned that that's kind of clever what they did there, just to keep the enclosure nice and clean, you know, and steady. So I really like that, you know, with this particular hoverboard. The hinging, the assembly with those bars, that I didn't like so much. In fact, I didn't like that at all. And so what I did is I took out the wheels and the brackets that typically look something like that. It's just a bar here, where this bar where it hinges, it also has a hinge on this section right here. So I'm not using that hinge. So I took the bar and I'm retaining the plate here, the lugs, the axle, and I'm going to introduce some kind of a bar here from here to here that's going to hold this parallel, you know, to each other here, and this will also be the lateral support for the frame. Now I don't know if the frame is going to be square in this one here, in this drawing right here. I use the EMT tubing with maker pipe connectors. This kind of, like I said, it's a rough sketch. You know, I still have to massage this and put the proper brackets, you know, for the support of this caster wheel. This is a caster wheel, but this is basically, this is the basic setup here. You know, it's just a framework here. It's sort of like a T or an I shape, you know, with the bracket here for support the wheels and another bracket here for support of the control board, which only houses the foot pedals and the electronics. The battery will probably sit somewhere here. So I want to put also some kind of a almost like what I did with my my other go-kart. You know, I put some kind of a panel here so that I can have my switches here, my control. But I plan on doing the same thing here so that I can house the batteries, and it'll have my on-off button. The batteries are going to be 2 Ryobi batteries. Same thing, you know, I really like that setup. It's working out great on my other go-karts, and I'm going to replicate it here. This will just be, like I said, the controls, the foot pedals can control and this will be my front panel, you know, with the switches. It'll have all the let's see if I have that here. I don't have this one on. I don't have that in this drawing here. No, I don't have that here. It's in another drawing, another file. But pretty much it'll be kind of similar to the one that I did with the 1.5 inch steel square tubing. I don't have that panel here, and I think I'm gonna just keep it like that, just for simplicity. You know, like I said in my other video, I don't want to introduce too much weight, because the beauty about these tri-X that you adapt to hoverboards is that they are very lightweight in terms of, you know, with respect to is compared, I should say, to a full go-kart that has wheels, brackets, and all the mechanics assemblies, you know, on the front end and also on the back end. And so this just having this wheel in a caster wheel, you know, it allows it to center itself as this is driving forward and backward. And the control right here is no different than the control over here at the rear, except that I'm distributing the weight a little bit better here by bringing the control to the front here, and, you know, a person sitting here, so that the center of mass should be somewhere around in midsection on this center tube right here. So it'll be a little better, I think, from that perspective. And you can still control this just as if you had those levers that those trike adapters have, you know, the right and left, those bars on the sides, except that this is not going to have a bar. You'll be able to control this directly with your feet, just like you know, like a foot pedals on a car. This could also be adapted with a steerable wheel right here, like a bicycle type thing, or a scooter type thing. You know, this could be adapted with some kind of a steering bar, like I have on my 1.5 inch square tubing go-kart, you know, something like that. And you could still control this. Of course, this did not come out right here in my drawing here. I'm kind of holding my camera with one hand while doing this with my other one here. But let's just bring it up here, you know, put the steering bar right there. And let's erase this right here. There we go. And so the steering bar will have to be somewhere like that. Okay, so that could also be done that way. So they have you know, steering at the front, as well as in this case steering left and right. You know, I could modify this this pedal section right here, so that I can activate manually via the steering bar the front wheel, instead of having the motors do the turning via this these pedals, you know, those brackets that allow you to turn left and right. So I mean, it's got a lot of possibilities, but once I get the frame, I'll be able to test it and see how that works out, and kind of finalize the you know, the control system that way. But this is where my head has been, you know, lately. And this morning when I woke up, you know, I go to bed thinking about these things, which does two things. It allows me to fall asleep a lot faster. I mean, I go to bed when I'm really tired. Otherwise, I can't sleep, because there's so much in my head it's just trying to process all these things. And you know, when night comes, obviously, you know, we are human. You know, we get tired. Our body's tired after a certain point, you know, of working, of doing things. But my brain keeps going, and my brain wants to, you know, force my body to do more work. I mean, I could have been working late at night, you know, and sometimes I do that in my shop or in my shed, making parts, modifying things, and testing. But you know, sometimes the body just doesn't want to go. So when I get really tired, I go to bed. But I go over to bed thinking, with my brain full of ideas, and so it allows me to fall asleep. Number one, because otherwise I can't sleep, and number two, I woke up refreshed, you know, with energy in those ideas, just just ready to be implemented. So when I wake up, I get right on these things. I start working on these projects. So that's how I approach these things. But I started doing this last night, and I had the wheels done. I had to modify some of these wheels for the sizes that I'm using. These are 10-inch wheels, by the way. In the back, that hoverboard Rogue model has 10-inch wheels, inflatable wheels, which is nice because I don't think I need suspension here. I hope those wheels are, because they're pneumatic, I hope they give a little cushion to it, which will be a lot nicer, more easier ride than my Go-Kart one that it just has a direct drive with the smaller wheels that have the hard tires on them. And also being that this wheel right here is also pneumatic, you have all three wheels on pneumatic tires, so that should give a nice cushion without implementing too many mechanics here and things. I will probably do something here with the seat. You'll notice my seat is not on top of this framework here, and that is on purpose because I said in my other video that I don't want this to look like too unsightly. I mean, I see people putting foldable chairs on top of these things, and they're sitting way up on top of this right here. The chair comes up to something like they're sitting right on top of here. And your number one, your center of mass is way up here. And it would be a lot easier if you're going really fast for you to tip over, if you're sitting on top of here, just by nature that you're sitting higher. So by bringing this lower, as low as you can get it as possible, you improve the stability of this unit. And so that was my idea with this setup here. If you notice some of those trike adapters that they sell, for these scooters, they have, some of them are the one that I showed in my other videos. That one does not have any springs or coils or shock absorbers on the unit, so it sits really low. Basically the seat is right on top of this the main bar, the main spar, the main root tube. So it sits low. On mine, I wanted to sit even lower than that, but I still want some kind of suspension. So that's something that I'm going to be working on today. I'm going to see if I can massage this drawing and just make it happen in real time, with some real parts, and to see. And I have some ideas how to do this, and those ideas actually come from my my coaxial helicopter, my man-carrying helicopter, the framework that I did for that, which I also showed in a quarter scale model. If you go and search electric ultralight coaxial helicopter MIA, you'll stumble on that particular design, how I did that. And that's a quarter scale model of the full scale, full-size coaxial helicopter that's that I did a while back. So I plan on implementing some of those little tricks and ideas on this cart, just to keep things very simple and effective. So this is where I'm at right now with this project, and I just thought I showed this right here because this kind of not fully completes the excuse me, the design of this project, but at least my approach to this and where my direction is. So anyway, and if you just look at the simple basic layout here, drawing, you can see how cool this is, how cool it looks. It looks really slick because it's low profile and it's very simplistic. This is kind of bulky right here. I'm gonna have to massage this and just take actual dimensions, from this unit here, and I will redo this, with the actual dimensions, and it'll look more like the real part instead of this boxy thing. I did this last night, sort of quick, just to get an idea of proportions here. Anyway, this is Mario once again. Stay tuned for some more cool stuff.